Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Frieza 4th Form, which is, as far as my memory is allowing me to figure out, basically the same release as the last one we got, but there are a few key differences, particularly in accessories, but also in execution, that I do want to talk about. So this is going to be kind of a quick review, but also one that's going to have some really important information for you if you're trying to decide which one to get. So let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about, we'll say 4.5 inches. It's just a touch over that, and that's going to make him pretty close to 11.5 centimeters. And like I said, I think it's basically the exact same figure as before. However, since I moved relatively recently and have a new baby, I have not unpacked all of my collection, so I can't pull out the other ones to compare, but you can just check out the link up there. I have reviewed all of them, and so you'll be able to see, you'll be able to tell what's going on. But I'm going to go through this review to show you everything that this guy is, and that should give you enough information. But before we do that, let's do a quick question of the day. As far as Dragon Ball characters go, would you like all of the transformations of every character? For me, absolutely yes. I want every form of Frieza. I want the bulky Frieza that is in like the final form. I want the stage 2 Frieza. I want all of them. I want Cell. I want every bad guy in every form. All the good guys in every form. Give me all of them. I think that's what Dragon Ball's strongest thing is the transformations. Let me know how you guys feel about that. I know some people are like, nah, just give me the main ones. That's fine. You can have that opinion. Okay, so let's talk about the aesthetic on this guy. I want to say that this guy's purple is the best purple that they have ever purpled on a Frieza figure. I could be remembering incorrectly, but I seem to remember the other one was very dark. This one is so bright and metallic that I love it. His head is so saturated and vibrant and shiny, and I hope it's showing up well on camera, but it is so good in person. His chest, his arms, they're all the same. His little leg thingies, he's so well done in the purple. And then on his body, it's just slightly off-white, slightly gray. And they do have a little bit of the blue shading, but I want to say this is the nicest application of the blue shading on Frieza to date. He's very well executed. It's very subtle, but just enough to bring him to life. This takes me right back to the good old days of S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball figures, because we did used to see shading like this throughout the figures, and it just looks so damn good. So good. It's very, very nicely executed. And then we do have the detail paintwork on his face. That's very well executed as well. The lines, the eyes, the little red pupils. Looks fantastic. We do have the purple joints up here in the shoulders. So yeah, I mean, it's not great because obviously you have the big purple chunks in the armpit area, but they had to do something, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think this looks fantastic. So if you're looking to buy this one rather than the old one, you are making a good choice simply from the aesthetic perspective, because this thing looks wonderful. It is very, very well done. Really, really good looking. So I'm going to give the aesthetic a, I want to say it's like 10 out of 10. I can't think of anything that I really want to change on this guy for the aesthetic that is reasonable, so it's good. He's a little shiny, I guess, his white parts, but he's Frieza, so he could be. Who's to say he's not? It makes sense that he would have a little bit of shine to him, given that he's got metallic parts on him. So yeah, aesthetically speaking, I want to say 10 out of 10. I don't know what to change on this guy. It looks gorgeous. It's very good. Now, as far as accessories go, we do get the 3 heads. The neutral-ish head that comes on him in the package that has the hole in it for the halo. So we already saw that before. That's fine. Then we have the 2 other heads, the angry or whatever, the concerned one, and the yelling head. And those are both equally gorgeous. Very, very nicely done. We do get the crossed arm effect, which, by the way, on this figure, it swaps out on mine easily. It pops off, goes on, no problems. Haven't had any troubles doing it, so that's very good. Paint job is clean on that. We do have the alternate hands. We have the fist hands that come out in the package. We get the pointing finger hand, and then the other semi-pointed finger hand, the 2 relaxed hands, and then the 2 wide open hands. All the nails are painted very nicely on those. Extra shading all the way around, very good. We get the 2 flat feet that come on them in the package, then we get the 2 floating feet. Nails are painted, shadings on there, all very nicely done. This guy is lacking an effect part, which I think is a big miss for this release. In lieu of that, though, we got the 5-star Dragon Ball, the activated Dragon Ball, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love the way they did the swirly metallic plastic in there. Very nicely done. Even better looking than the standard non-activated Dragon Balls that we normally see. So they traded on that one, but I do think we should have gotten the effect part and the Dragon Ball. So that's where you're going to have to make your decision. I'm guessing everybody's going to want all the Dragon Balls, so in that sense, pick this figure up for sure. But if you want the effect part, you're going to have the old one. So honestly, the best combination is having the old one, giving the effect part to this guy, and then you get the Dragon Ball and the effect part. So if you're buying all of them, you're in luck. If you're picking and choosing, you have to choose between effects and Dragon Balls. So that's up to you. But it is the big Namekian Dragon Ball, so keep that in mind. But accessory-wise, it's really good. Missing a display stand and the rock piece that we have seen in the past, and missing an effect part does hurt the figure some. Dragon Ball helps. I'll go 9 out of 10. It's still a good spread of accessories. If none of the previous releases ever existed, the only thing I'd really be upset about is some sort of display stand and the effect part. So it's still a good one though. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the articulation. By the way, did I mention this is a Chinese factory release, not made in Vietnam? Which doesn't seem to be that consistently an issue anymore. A lot of the Vietnamese releases have been pretty good, but this one is Chinese and it does seem good, but let's see how the articulation is. We have the ball hinge for the neck, which makes it difficult to pose his head, but it does work, and if you really want to, you can just pop the head off and get it to work. But because he doesn't have hair, you can do the wiggle technique and get the lean that you need, so that's okay. Definitely a double ball peg would be easier to use, but this is an acceptable implementation of the ball hinge. The neck is on a ball peg also. Very minimally useful, but it is articulated. I hate these ball hinges so much. Okay, so shoulders on a big ball peg, not loose at all. That moves around this way, affords extra range, gives you a sort of a butterfly joint, gives them more natural posing. I like that. Then you get your shoulder built into ball hinge. Best way to do it right here. This is the best. Perfectly good range all the way around. You get your bicep swivel there. Yeah, there's like a tiny little gap in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Just the tiniest little touch because the arms are removable for the crossed arms effect. Not the biggest deal in the world, but that is like that. Double jointed elbow gives you really good range, and it's a good looking elbow. No issues there. And then for the wrist, we have a ball hinge. Standard ball hinge works nicely. For the torso, it's just a couple of ball pegs. And this piece is on a ball peg too. It floats around just a little bit so that you don't jam it into the abdomen. He doesn't have the greatest range in the world, but it's definitely enough. Like, I've seen figures with better range, but not many, and his works really well. Straight up ball pegs is the way to go almost always for head, neck, torso. Straight through. Ball pegs, ball pegs, ball pegs, ball pegs, all the way around, and this figure is a perfect example. Works really, really well. For the hips, we do have the old school hinged ball pegs, which not the greatest thing to do. It doesn't tend to work as well as it should, but you do get full-on splits basically out of this guy, which is very nice, and you can kick the leg pretty far forward, so that'll do. I wouldn't mind seeing updated hips on this guy, but this is a decent example. Like, some of the Friezas have been the best releases of the year sort of figures, and this one's no different. It works really nicely, no problems there. Going back, it does work also. You get some range going back, so that's pretty good. That's fine. You get your thigh swivel out of that ball peg, which is somewhat limited, but it is there. You get your double jointed knee. Not the greatest range. It's only a little bit better than 90, but it is there. Can we get some more out of it if we do the top and then the bottom? Yes, you can. So yeah, just try to balance those hinges. Don't crank on the bottom one first or you'll have less range. But that's pretty good. They even did shading throughout on the knee. The hard cap on the knee, they shaded that. Very nicely done. This is easily my favorite Frieza release. Best looking one by far. Ankles go all the way back on their ball hinge. Not as far forward as I would like, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but you do get like the perfect ankle rocker out of that. Very nicely done there. And then lastly, we have the tail, which is just a big old ball hinge. Not as posable as I would like. We don't have the alternate tail piece. We don't have some things. That's the other thing I didn't mention, I guess. We don't have the tail piece for wrapping it around someone's neck. So that's a little bit of a bummer, and his tail is minimally useful the way it has to stick out straight here, but it's okay. So it is a cheaper release too, so I'm a little bit happy about that. Is it lacking some accessories? Sure, but I guess I could knock the accessories down to like take a point off for not having the alternate tail piece, I guess. But anyway, as far as articulation goes, it's pretty damn good. This guy's very usable, very posable. and all the articulation is very well executed. So I'll go 9 out of 10 for articulation. I would really just prefer a little bit better work on the tail, and the ankles could have a little bit better range going forward. But this is an exceptional release. At the price point, I love it. I know it's mostly just a repaint with a new, well, swapped out accessory, but it's really, really, really well done. It is exceptional by today's S.H. Figuarts standards, and this just shows you how much a little bit of paint can do on a figure. He's just got a little touch of light blue shading throughout, but it really brings the figure to life. And then the purple metallic is great. Accessories good, articulation good. This release gets a 9.5 out of 10. Final verdict, 9.5 out of 10. I think it is one of the best examples of an S.H. Figuarts Dragon Ball figure that we've seen in a long time. Very, very pleased with it, and I think you guys will be too. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down, and if you want to share the video for either reason, I suggest you do it. Tell everybody how bad it is. Tell everybody how good it is. Whatever you feel like doing, I would appreciate that. Either way. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to do it. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.